No, man, but you got to keep going. What am I going to do, quit? That's not an option. You got to keep on keeping on. Life's a garden, dig it? You make it work for you. You never give up, man. That's my philosophy.
Hey, gardeners. Hope you're having a great week. I'm just out here in the garden checking out my container apple tree. And we've got a couple of fruits ripening up and turning red. This is a tasty red variety. We should be enjoying some apples pretty soon. All right, let's get growing. So, all right, gardeners, welcome to Let's Get Growing, your weekly gardening live cast here on the Urban Gardener channel. However, this week, I am still out on vacation. So what I thought we would do is do a replay of our visit to the Northwest Flower and Garden Show earlier this year. And then next week, I'll be back and we'll talk all about our trip to the National Heirloom Exposition and all of the great things that I got up to in Los Angeles and all of the upcoming content on the Urban Gardener channel that we'll be uploading here real soon. So we'll see all of you next week. I hope you enjoy the show today. Hey gardeners, welcome to the Urban Gardener channel. I'm Enoch and I'm outside the convention center here in Seattle, Washington for the Northwest Flower and Garden Show. What better way to get our growing season started with a nice little tour of all the things that they've got growing on here at the convention center for the Flower and Garden Festival. So let's go check it out. Let's go see what they got going. And before that, actually, check out in the description below, I've got a link to a video that I shot with our friend Marc Bouchert-Colbert. Yesterday, he did a top 10 of the best things going on at the show. So go check that out as well, right after you watch this video, and give us a big thumbs up. Got it. So all right, we'll try to show as much as we can of the show. There's so much here to see, all sorts of vendors and exhibits. And then we've got these really cool exhibits that I really want to show all of you, along with more vendors. We're right here at the Sky Bridge over Pike. So we'll go and start by checking that out. So the theme of this year's show is Spring Vibes Only. On the Sky Bridge here, we've got the City Living exhibits. Under the big glass dome. Nice water feature here, fountain. Kind of see down Pike here.
And the last
No, the second house we rented, the big one.
Yeah.
And do you remember we had Mason do the And I was very it's her thing.
Kind of like that bamboo wall with the window there. Kind of an example of what some patios or decks in the city could be designed like. I like this hanging feature here, that's really cool. This one's got some really cool color to it for sure. Nice relaxing swing chair. And we got more displays over on this side of the sky deck. Sorry. I like this arch right here. That would be cool in the garden when you could grow all sorts of things up and around on that. This cool glass window. Oh, shouldn't touch that. And gotta love the cat painting right there. Well, this one's really cool here too. Lots of cool woodwork. I really like this shelf here where you can have all the small plants in these pots. So once we cross both sides of the sky deck there, we come into one of the sides where you get a lot of the vendors. And over on this side, you get a lot of plant vendors where you can find all sorts of plants, lots of indoor house plants. I'm definitely going to have to pick up a couple of these while I'm here for sure. All the hanging plants in here. So many different varieties to choose from. Oh, look at that. That is cool. Variegated. Monstera. Today this place is packed though. Lots and lots of people.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Sorry. Squeezing through here. Here's a nursery I used to live by for many years when I lived up in Kent East Hill. Oh, they've got some really nice plants here. Most definitely going to have to wait till the crowd slows down a little bit later. See what's left and grab a couple of plants for myself. This philodendron here. Definitely one we might have to come back for. Look how glossy and shiny those leaves are. So many different vendors and people here. We're definitely not going to be able to highlight them all. But let's take a walk through here and see what we got. Oh, here's the Freyer trellis. Featured in our top 10 with Marc. Be sure to check that out in the link below. can get a empty piece of wood design like this one here with a butterfly, and then fill it up with your own variety of succulents as you like. And they got all sorts of them to choose from here as well too. That's a pretty fun project there. Really like that. Definitely going to find all sorts of things here at the show, as there's all sorts of vendors. Maybe even need to take a nap. All these people here, all the things to see. You might need to de-stress just a little bit. Come enjoy one of their massage chairs. Now, wouldn't this be nice to have in the back patio area? Sit back, swing, and enjoy the garden space. For their container wars, where they put on these shows where gardeners compete with each other to design small containers.
Back to you, eh? Yeah, everywhere. Hey, good job. What do you want on
Kids having fun playing with the veg pods. More of those massage chairs. I bet after quite a while of walking around all of the things that you get to see, your legs are getting tired. I've never tried one of these things, but I bet you they're nice. That was a nice fun walk through all of the different vendors and plant sales. That's all on this side. And that's just one side of this festival so far. Head back across the atrium towards all of the exhibits. This is the fun part, one of the best parts of the whole show. Now just back this way, they've got all of their landscape exhibitors, all sorts of really awesome, creative, different exhibits. So I'll try to get through and show you most of those. A lot of these people put a lot of real work onto these exhibits. And from what I understand is they've only got 72 hours before the show starts in order to get them all set up for the different judges who judge the different ones and give out the awards. So here's the winner of the show, what they call the Founders Cup. Got this nice outdoor shed cabin, really beautiful. Such a great variety of different plants and shrubs, all packed in nice and tightly. Nice little moss path.
Like, I've grown a couple of types of plants that I've tried growing indoors, and they end up just dying. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? And I read up, and it's like, it needs a dormancy period. And I'm like, oh man.
shape of the branch. It makes it look more better.
So all of the rock that you see in all of these feature exhibits come from this company called Marcos Rock Center. They actually bring them all in here, these big giant cranes. Which surprisingly cranes actually fit right in here, and they spend those first 3 days, that 72 hours I was talking about, hauling them in so all of the exhibitors can feature their different rocks. So all right, there we go. Nice little walk through some of the vendors and then these featured landscape exhibits that they've got here. A lot of these landscapers are just artists when it comes down to it. So I hope you really enjoyed that part of the show. Next up for me is to go check out some of the featured lecturers and my Northwest favorite, Cisco Morris. So another real great thing about the Flower and Garden Festival is all the different speakers that they have on each day here. Tons and tons of lectures being given, and the one we're looking for right here, the good, the bad, and why did I plant that, with Cisco Morris.
And you are booked by habit. We do want to ask that you not take any photos.
So all right, there we are. The show's about winding down for us here on the Urban Garden channel. So I hope you all have enjoyed the video tour of all the cool exhibits and these vendors and everything here. I've got to go now and go find some of those plants I was looking at earlier so I can take them home with me. Now be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button as well, so you can follow along with more of our video adventures here. And be sure to come and check out this show next year so that you can enjoy some of the really cool things that they have growing on here in Seattle. I'll see all of you on our next episode.
Partners, we are out at the Seattle Convention Center today for the Northwest Flower and Garden Show, and we've got our friend Marc Bouchert-Colbert with us today, and he's going to give us a rundown of all of his top 10 displays and exhibits.
You know, this is a really tough task, Enoch. You've given me a real rough task because there's so much good stuff here. It's hard to cherry pick only 10 things. But we're going to try to give you just a little sampling of all that this show has to offer. They say that it's the second biggest garden show in the U.S. And if you live anywhere within spitting distance here, I think you ought to make it your mark next year to get here and experience this for yourself, because it's a truly there's no way we can pack the floral scents, the textures, the sounds into this video. So you're going to have to come and just know we're just giving you the upper crust here, and you just plunge in yourself. Come to the show.
All right, excellent.
Yeah.
Let's get growing.
Let's do it. So coming in at number 1 here at the Northwest Flower and Garden Show is this amazing piece of design work, the Falling Water Greenhouse. This is a mind-boggling amount of engineering that happened in 72 hours. The display has 2 waterfalls. It has an aquaponics setup here, fish tank over here, plants growing on this side. It's just a testament to the creativity, the astonishing creativity that's here at the show, and the ability to literally move heaven and earth to make a really amazing display that's displaying forward-thinking concepts here, growing food with fish, and also just an incredible beauty and incredible resonance with the Pacific Northwest landscaping. So this just wins on so many levels. It's number 1. So many things could have been number 1 at this show, but we got to call one, and this is the Falling Water Greenhouse. So coming in at number 2, we're in another one of these amazing display gardens. It's just a huge amount of material that's been brought in. These things have been assembled in under 72 hours. And, you know, massive rocks. We heard about a giant crane that brings these in. The crane drives into this exhibition hall. The rock I'm standing in front of is probably 12,000 pounds. That was what one of the vendors told us today. But this garden is cool. Besides, it's just amazing concept. You know, it's got a beautiful pergola structure there. It's also reminding us to work in some fun. This has got a little putting green built into this. So I'm going to take a shot right now. It's just reminding us that some people want to interact in their gardens. They want to play in their gardens. They want leisure. It's not just always about the plants. It's about being, right? It's about being and enjoying ourselves. So now I'm going to show you my bad golf skills and try to get a hole in 3 or 10 or whatever it takes. Oh yeah, no, it's not gonna. Exactly when I'm on camera, I'm not gonna make it. Oh, there we go, in 2. All right, so coming in at number 3, and this could have easily been number 1, but we're gonna call it number 3, is this amazing offering, education at the show. Basically, there's 3 huge lecture rooms, and they're full from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. with industry experts teaching about all aspects of gardening. Let's look at a couple here. For example, you know, you got birds and bees and bats, oh my. Here's a panel, a 90-minute panel with 3 experts talking about how you can get more wildlife into your garden. Here's something about pruning, so sometimes they're quite technical. How to pick plants that are going to, this one, fabulously fragrant plants. This is awesome. So you're just getting this wealth of knowledge. It can be zeroed in on one plant family. It can be big just in terms of overall gardening practice, health, sustainability, nutrition, how to make drinks from plants. All kinds of stuff is offered here. It's a great resource. And this goes on for 5 days. We've got 3 panels here because it's Friday, but Thursday and Wednesday have been taken away. You can get into this show for $80 for 5 days, and you can sit for 8 hours a day if you can stand it and listen to all these experts just washing you in knowledge. I don't know any place you could get that kind of exposure. So just coming to the show just for that, totally worth it. This is just an amazing part of this show. So coming in number 4 is this amazing partnership the Northwest Flower and Garden Show has with the University Bookstore in Seattle. They set up an amazing garden-only bookshop here, and you can just find something about everything. And I think in this internet age, some of us have lost sight of just how important books are. Somebody's done the thinking for you. They presented it beautifully. It's all organized and nicely. Books can be, it's just a real tangible thing, and you can pass it on, you can give it as a gift. I'm a big lover of books. I get tons of ideas from just this little section. I spend an hour or 2 every show here. I spend some unrevealed amount of money every year. But it's totally worth it. I take the books back, I read them all year long. I'm getting thoughts and ideas all year long from that. The other great thing about this is after every lecture, the author comes over to a book signing table, and you can bring your copy of their book and meet the author, talk with them, and get them to sign your book. I mean, that kind of personal relationship just drives home, like, who is it that's accumulated all this wisdom about epic tomatoes? I want to meet him. I want him to sign my book. It's just a great touch. And it's only something that can happen at the show. So coming in at number 5 is another example of a vendor-run booth. And this one is particularly interesting. This is the Seattle Urban Farm Company's booth this year. And they are offering, they're a consulting business, and they work with homeowners, helping them set up gardens of all scales. But they have recently innovated a new product. They have a really sturdy, windproof, load-proof trellis that they've innovated. They're putting this out on the market now. So this represents another element of the show. You get to see people at the cutting edge of gardening, coming up with new products, solving problems for gardeners. So in a minute, we're going to talk to Colin, who's one of the innovators of this, and learn about his process. How did they come up with this process? What was the need that drove this? And how are gardeners receiving and reviewing this? But the ability to interact with these kind of people is one of the great things about the show. You can't get this anywhere else. Hey, so one of the privileges of the show is that we get to meet these great designers, great farmers, great gardeners who are out here on the leading edge of gardening. So this is Colin McCrae of the Seattle Urban Farm Company. He's the founder of that business. They do garden design, landscape design, all kinds of stuff, primarily focused on vegetables. He's written 2 books, and now they've innovated a new trellis, a totally new trellis design. We've asked Colin to just take us through a little, tell us about this new innovation. Colin, take it.
Yeah, so this is what we call sprayer trellis. And the goal was to make the most beautiful, durable, and versatile trellis that exists. So we have years, decades now, I guess, of experience building gardens and building trellises for those gardens, and kept seeing the same problems come up for people over and over again with their trellis options. Lots of trellises fall over. Lots of trellises just aren't tall enough for the crops that people want to grow. Lots of trellises are difficult to clean up at the end of the year. The vines get wrapped around metal mesh, and there's just like a lot of cleanup to do. And then lots of trellises also don't last very long, so they have to get replaced every couple of years. We wanted to try to solve all of those problems. So starting from the ground up, we have this thing, we call it a ground anchor. It's 18 inches tall, and you basically hammer this into the ground. After the trellis itself is modular, so it comes in these about 2 feet sections, and you put together as many of these as you want. So you can set it up as tall and as wide as fits in your garden bed and is appropriate for the crops that you're growing. So the maximum height for this trellis is 7 feet by 8 feet long for one setup. And then that creates a really strong framework for you to work from. And then what you want is string trellising. So string trellising is like a favored technique of professional growers, and usually they do it inside a greenhouse. And so what we wanted to do is translate that idea outdoors into the home garden. And so with string trellising, you can do it vertically like this, or horizontally. With the string trellising that goes vertically, you just throw the string over the top bring it down and either tie it at the base of your plant or use one of these trellising clips. So we also have these compostable trellis clips that help just hold your plants onto the string or onto a different trellis if you're using a different trellis. And when you're using string trellising, it just makes it easier to train your crops, to prune your crops, to get in there and harvest from them, and then clean up at the end of the year. You just trim the tops, throw it in the compost, and you're done. And we want people to be able to buy one trellis and use it forever. So, and it's all made out of aluminum, so it'll never rust. So if you do want to stop using it, you can just recycle it because aluminum is infinitely recyclable. So there you go. Thank you very much.
Hey, so coming in at number 6 is a stand that's represented by this Skagit Gourmet Mushroom Stand. And what I'm talking about here is people who are pros, who are selling or offering some product, and you get to interact with them at the show, which is what really differentiates just an order online versus a human-to-human interaction. Here, for example, like they're selling these mushroom kits. You can look through at this amazing display at what the mushrooms are going to look like. You can talk with the pros about how you want to grow them. What are the best tips? What are their suggestions? I myself today came looking for some information on this one, King Stropharia. This is one you grow in the garden. And I found some new information. I thought I was going to need a lot of wood chips to grow King Stropharia, and I learned that I could do it basically in pure compost and in the soil. So I'm going to go with this year in my garden as an understory to some corn and some other things. I'm really looking forward to it. And I got some new motivation by talking to some of the pros here at this particular stand. That's what I love about the show, the kind of that interaction with the knowledge source. These people spend all their time, they're fully immersed in this world of whatever it is they're pros on, and you get to just tap in. They're here for 5 full days and they want to interact with you. It's a great aspect of the show. So coming in at number 7, we're going to talk about the plants themselves. And we're here in the large display garden space. And it's a stunning way to get exposed to all these different beautiful plants, many you've never heard of before, but then how they work in combination with other plants. And here some just amazing landscape designers are practicing their craft right in front of you. So what caught my eye about this is I love hellebores, and there's so many different colors of hellebore, and we're getting some beautiful wine reds in there. But then look at how it resolves into these beautiful begonias with the same hints of the deep reddish purple and the green and the textures, and then coming down to these primroses, these variegated primroses. So you're just getting some ideas. You can bring this home for container gardening, for your own landscaping ideas, or just write down, take pictures of all the tags, have this as a reference when you go to your local garden centers. Again, it's just like thousands and tens of thousands of forced plants are brought in here for your pleasure and learning, and it's one of the outstanding aspects of the show. Again, impossible to replicate anywhere else except in this kind of environment. So coming in at number 8 are the variety of tool vendor stations like this one, where you can try the tools, and that makes a giant difference to get the thing in your hand and actually try it out. This is one of many different pruning tool areas, and they all have a whole collection of sticks. And so right now, this is actually one of my favorite hand pruners. This is the Wildflower Seed and Tool Company, and this is their ratcheting pruner, which allows you to make, it basically magnifies your hand strength by 4 or 5 times because you make this big cut in a series of small steps. And then you finish it off here. Sometimes the finish is a little rough. There we go. Here's their what's called bypass. This is their Women's Pro Pruner. It's a smaller hand size. I work with kids, so it's great to try this out and think, yeah, I think the kids would like this. And then a new thing are these little scissors that I just looked at, and they're great for really small sticks. They chew through like crazy. So that was kind of an unexpected discovery. Anyway, this is the kind of place where you can try things out, and that's what makes the show so great. You get hands-on, you try the material, There's a lot of great specials too. They'll often like load you up with, if you want to buy 2 or 3, you get a special at the show that you can't get online or in the other retail stores. So for all that stuff, it's a great place to get exposed to new tools, to try them out, to get the feel of them in your hand. All the stuff that makes the really important differences and that you can't get when you're buying at a distance. So come to the show and take advantage of all the tool trials you can do. So coming in at number 9 here, we're at the booth of a local artisan, a metal artisan, and I just want to highlight the role of art in the garden. There are so many interesting artists here as vendors, and having some interesting piece of art in the garden can really enliven it, whether it's a really elaborate sculpture like this or something like this screening is wonderful because it can kind of do double duty as a trellis or as a divider. You can kind of create rooms in your garden, focal points, objects of interest. So art just enlivens everything. It can be covered by plants or not. It can be surrounded by plants. So there's this wonderful conversation between art and the growing world. And I think it's just an important part of the garden. It's definitely an important part of the show. So if you come, don't miss the art vendors. So coming in at number 10, because it's not essentially garden related, is the cookie shop. So this is an important stop for me because I'll be honest, when you're on your feet all day at the garden show, it's tiring. And so at the end of the day, I need a boost. If I'm going to be sitting in those late day seminars and lectures, I'm going to be nodding off unless I get a little bit of a sugar rush. Coffee's also important too. You don't want to forget the coffee shop either. But I love these locally handmade cookies. The fellow working here told me yesterday that these guys have been up till 1:30 a.m. for 3 or 4 nights in a row, making enough of these delicious cookies. So I'm taking a power boost here. I'm going to be ready to power through the afternoon. Let's bite in. That's good stuff. This helps the show go.
So all right, there we go. We've got our top 10 of the Northwest Flower and Garden Show here. Thanks, Mark, for taking us through. And again, everything here at the show could be the number 1, but we did have to choose something. So I hope you enjoyed our top 10.
Yeah, really could. It's been a tour de force here at the show. You know, this really marks for us in the Northwest the beginning of the planting season. You come to the show, you get supercharged, and then you go back to your home garden and you just go with everything that you just absorbed. It lasts the whole year long. Next year's show dates are already set, February 14th through 18th, so come on and experience this for yourself. We can't do it justice in this little video.
No,
you have to come and get it for yourself.
All right. Again, thank you all for joining with us, and check out some of the links down below as well.
Good growing.
Hey gardeners, thanks for tuning in to our show today. We'll be right back at it here in just a moment. I just wanted to take a second here to highlight our regular videos and features here on the Urban Gardener channel. Our weekly garden journals, and our incredible featured visits.